Ghana's composition of its debt is also slightly different from the composition of debt we had then. We had debt to the Paris Club, which is to official creditors. Part of Ghana's debt is domestic debt, which I think they've restructured already or are in the process of doing. And then you have external private sector debt, sovereign bonds, which is private sector and requires a lot of work to bring those private sector people to participate in the terms. So I think what they are doing now, one, getting some of the bilateral creditors, not just Paris Club but China, on board in the common framework that has been put together by the G20, bringing them, then asking the private creditors to submit to the same terms. That is what is needed, and it's not easy. It's going to take quite a bit of work, but the hope I have for you from our lesson is that no matter how hard, if you persist, you do the reforms, you show them how it's affecting your fiscal situation, and they see you visibly trying to solve the problem of the macroeconomic management of the economy. And then you insist that everybody, private sector, bilaterals, all the creditors, except the international organizations, they provide fresh money. They will not be able to do the debt forgiveness, but they will provide fresh money like the IMF is doing. You get them around the table to agree. That, I think, is what the government is doing. It took us 2.5 years to get everybody on the same page. The last thing is that you need a country to back you. So out of all your creditors, there has to be one of them who can go around persuading the others. Most of the time, your largest bilateral creditor should take that lead. Because then if they are ready to give certain terms, that means that the others will also be ready. And I think that's one of the challenges Ghana is facing now, trying to get that done. We were able to persuade, the British were our largest creditors at the time. And Gordon Brown was the Chancellor of the Exchequer then. So I was able to persuade him that we're doing all the necessary things. You, Brits, have to be first to take a haircut, to say you're going to forgive this, otherwise the other creditors will not come around. So these are some of the tricks. But let me end by saying that thinking about the future is also important. It's not enough to just get the debt now restructured or forgiven. You have to put in place fiscal rules that prevent that from happening in the future, at least as much as possible. So we did do that in Nigeria. It lasted for some time, but not forever, because the government can also come and Parliament can sweep away those rules when they want. But for a period of time, we had these rules that did not allow us. For example, we said our debt to GDP ratio can never exceed 60%. And that was written into the financial regulations. But then, so we have that, debt to GDP ratio in the country now is 40-something%. But debt service to revenue is the bigger issue. So if your revenue is eating up, if debt service is eating up your revenue, then you're still in trouble. So you need a fiscal rule that servicing your debt should not exceed a certain percentage of your revenues.